Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Heal the Industry podcast. I am so excited, guys. To have you guys. Hold on, I'm gonna back it out. Okay, my energy drink is kicking in.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Heal the Industry podcast. I am so excited to have you guys here today because we are doing another collaboration podcast episode with our amazing mentor inside of the Heal the Industry program, Abigail, Lacey. I am so excited to have you here today.
Yes, these are my favorite episodes. I love it. I love doing a solo episode, but you can only talk to yourself for so long. So
Totally.
This is so much more fun.
Totally. Well, and I just love it because you and I, we just riff off of each other. And even before we started recording this and we were talking about the topic, I always feel oh wait, I need to cut us off so we can hit record because this is actually really good.
Yeah, the juicy stuff. We gotta get this. Wait, actually pause. Can I record this real quick?
Yes, please. Exactly. That's exactly it. And I feel that way every time you and I get to talk. So I love getting to do these episodes together. So when we were talking about what's inspiring this podcast episode today, it actually stems from a poll that I posted on the Heal the Industry community and also on my Instagram page. And something that we thought was interesting and wanted to share with you guys. So in the poll on both my page and on the Heal the Industry page, I got similar results. And the number one thing that our industry needs, that was the question that I asked, is what is the number one thing that you feel our industry needs more, better and needs improvement on? The number one thing was mindset, which I totally believe in as a mindset mentor. I totally agree in that. And then the next two to follow that were neck and neck was clear boundaries and success without burnout. And I mean, I completely agree that those are the things that our industry for sure needs. But the one that got 0 votes was systems that automate. And as Abigail and I were talking about this, we were that's so interesting that nobody selected that, because from our perspective, having systems and automation is what has helped both of us with all the things that people are wanting: the better mindset, the clear boundaries, and the success without burnout. It's all been through automations and systems. So it's interesting that people don't want to lean into that more. So we wanted to talk about that today. And so Abigail, what do you think about this?
Yeah, it's funny. And I love it because it's so helpful actually to understand okay, so everybody want to do it. They're obviously struggling somewhere along the way with their mindset. They're struggling to find their voice as a leader. They're feeling overwhelmed in their salons, with their teams, with there's everything they have to do, yet they're not prioritizing the systematizing and even, automation. And what's funny is for me personally, at my peak overwhelm, always, even still, it's always directly correlated to a system needs to change or a system needs to be reworked. Every time. And it's never something you're going to do once and then you're done, you're good, you've systematized it, congrats. It's always going to change. The system that worked last year may not work anymore. And it's you have to adapt that mindset of systems forward. That is the mindset, because when I have a problem that or something's weighing on me, I'm feeling overwhelmed in my business, my brain now goes to how can I solve this problem, because it's obviously not going to go away on its own.
Yeah, definitely. And our teams want that. They want the structure. They want to know where to go for the answer and what that they can come to expect, right? And it's our job as leaders to facilitate that, and us not be the type of leaders in our salon spaces where we're running around like chickens with our head cut off. It's oh yeah, I need to go place that order, or oh yeah, I need to do that. Hold on, let me go grab that for you. It just creates like chaos versus giving them something reliable that they can count on and that they know. And that's what I love about setting up the automations part of it, is that it clears space mentally for you to be in the present moment, to pinpoint like what the root of a problem is that needs solving, versus being so overwhelmed by like the things that need manually done, that you don't have the capacity to have space of recognizing what areas need to shift for better improvement and better results.
Yeah, yeah. We did a call actually inside Heal the Industry. I believe it was in the leaders group, and it was all about like our KPIs. But most importantly, like changing the mindset around KPIs, and how we can like automate it to take that like the labor of it off of our plates. Because I try to plan calls around what I'm like currently facing inside like my own business. Because if I'm facing it, I know someone else is. So I actually have a hard time like planning them out too far in advance, because I just feel more passionate about it like when it's kind of happening. So
Right.
when I did this call, it was when I first started working with like Claude Co-work, which we talk about all the time. And my manager had just gone on maternity leave, and she normally does our like KPI, like, tracking. So, our software is going to track everything. Like if you have good salon software, like all the numbers are there, but somebody still at some point needed to pull those numbers and assign them and, look at everything side by side. So when we do our reviews with our team, we actually have like real information for them, because at the end of the day, I think like stylists just aren't thinking always about their numbers and like a projection kind of mindset. They're just kind of looking at like, how did I do today? Or do I have any clients next week? How much did I make this week? But they're not always thinking of like, okay, if my goal is to make this much and now I'm making this much, what can I do to get there? And that's our job, like as leaders, to help facilitate that. But we can't do that without that information in front of us. So the struggle that I was doing was, I would have someone entering all of the spreadsheets for me, which was fantastic. And then we would look at them and then we'd do quarterly reviews. But then she goes on maternity leave. And now that responsibility is back on me as an owner just during this time. And I'm realizing I don't want to do this. I want to look at the results. I want to look at like the actual story, but I don't want to take the time to enter it, because it's actually taking away from other things that my hands can actually be doing. So again, this is where the overall problem, like, oh my gosh, my manager's gone. Suddenly now I'm back with all this extra work again, and I'm feeling flustered, and I'm the chicken with my head cut off because I'm falling behind on all my sheets. I'm doing all the orders, and then I'm feeling overwhelmed. So, my mindset kind of not great right now. So again, it's looking at, well, what can I do to solve that? What system can I change? And it was, how can I automate this so I don't have to do this anymore? And that's what's so great, like AI and everything is just amazing now, where it's as simple as like you can download your reports, put it into Claude, and you can go back and do your whole year in a beautiful spreadsheet ready to go in like 5 minutes. And like you just spend all that time looking at the results, then entering the data, which, and then there's like human error. Like it's just the coolest thing to have it all just streamlined. Like I can do it in the morning in 5 minutes while I drink my coffee now, and go into the salon with like full picture of how everybody's doing in our numbers. And for someone like me, like that helps my like stress level. That helps me so much, and feeling like I'm more in control of what's going on.
Yes. I love that so much. And I love the results of looking at numbers. I honestly I've never been a huge fan of putting the numbers together. And that was like the mindset shift I had to go through, like when it was back in a time where you had to do things manually, because it wasn't something that I enjoyed the process of doing. I had to remember, I love the results I get at the end of it and what I can do with it, right? Because the biggest mindset struggle I see people struggle with is they get so emotionally led by assuming things. And if you can get out of assumption and get down to facts will move you so much further than any feeling ever will. if you're the salon owner that's like, well, I feel like this artist is producing well, so I'll give her a promotion. But if you don't have any facts to back that, you could be harming yourself in your business or her as well. Because when you look at things like a KPI report, you're able to look at all of the things, not just how booked and busy is she behind the chair, but you can also see things like their rebooking percentage. If that's not there, then, and you give them promotion before they're ready, like that's going to actually be more harmful to them than beneficial to them. And then same for you. So I love getting to look at the end result of numbers. And I love that now with utilizing things like that are tools like AI and Claude, you can put everything in there, see the results so much faster, because then when I go in to have leading conversations and mentoring my salon teams, I'm like, hey, you have a great opportunity to get to where you want to go. These are just the things that we want to tweak to ensure that getting you there is successful and you're not like moving before you're fully ready and you can see the full picture. So what I love as an owner and leaning into AI is that it gives me more of an opportunity to have authentic relationships with my team and being able to lead them from a place of not being overwhelmed and being able to help show them the facts of where they are and what shifts need to be made to get them to where they want to go. And that's truly like what our job is as salon owners, leaders, mentors, however you want to place it. They choose you because they're trusting you to help lead them in the direction that they want to go and the results that they want to get.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what's so funny too about when you start looking at numbers like in this way, again, like spending time looking at the results, not just the day-to-day, like the overall picture. And this was so cool is like when you start working with this stuff and playing around with it, there's nothing you really can't do. Like it's crazy. You can not only, make your spreadsheets, but then you can have Claude, like, can you analyze like every employee's, looking at their quarterly numbers and tell me, like, help me coach them.
Yeah.
And that's like the most amazing thing, because then Claude, and it is cool because it's a robot and it's going to separate fact versus feeling. We are the human beings and we still have to be involved, because if we're only coaching on numbers, then we are a robot and nobody wants to work for a robot. But it lets us like not get our own biases or feelings involved when we're looking at how we should be guiding them. And I love that because it tells me things that, like, for example, there's your stylist that's like crushing it always, where it almost starts to become the expectation of her. Mm-hmm. Like, of course she's busy. Of course she's always rebooking. Of course she posts, like, to where you almost stop telling her how amazing she's doing and how wonderful it is because you're just used to it. Mm-hmm. And that's when your leading stylists start to feel like they want something more. And it's because they're working and they're just not getting like that validation. And I think everybody, regardless of who you are, we all like validation in our efforts. So then it shows me, it's like, I know she's doing great, but oh my gosh, I had a stylist who had like 80 add-on services in 1 month, like something incredible. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, and most of my team are getting like 6. This is huge. Like, this is a huge gap. She is doing incredible. Like, she should be teaching a class to everybody on what she is doing, and showing everybody, like, look at like the difference. Like, what has this done for her paychecks for just put a deep conditioning mask? Or it also tells me, oh my gosh, I think we're getting a trim versus, you know what I mean, an add-on haircut. Like, where's the line there? And we're giving stuff away. So it's just like entering, I wouldn't have necessarily noticed that as much as having like this awesome, just like data pool. And then that goes the other direction. You have your stylist who has a great attitude, who shows up always in dress code, always like helpful, always in a good mood. So you just kind of like are always like, oh, she's doing great. Like, she's doing good. And then you look at her numbers and you're like, oh my gosh, she needs help. She's clearly struggling, but she's got such a great attitude that I'm not noticing that she's struggling here. Like, she's getting clients and she's not rebooking them. Like, she's frustrated because she's like, why don't I have any clients? I'm trying so hard. And it's that tells me where I need to spend my time. And it's helping her with the rebooking and with like building the, nurturing the relationship with her client, instead of me spending my time being, on the tedious task.
Right, right. The monotony of the tasks. And, also I will say too, when it comes to the boundaries aspect of all of this is, I mean, I remember for many years, like in the beginning, I didn't love putting together the numbers, but then I focused on the results. And so then I became excited about numbers and putting them together. But then I would be doing those numbers when I was at home and with my kids. And, I hate to admit it, but it is the God's honest truth. Like when you're doing something that doesn't come naturally to you, like putting together numbers. And that's just like the example that we're going to go with on this podcast episode. But I mean, there's so many different aspects of this that it helps with. But I would be working on numbers that don't come naturally to me. And so I'm having to will myself here. And then my sweet kiddo comes over to me and is like, Mom, just wants my attention. Mom, come look at this thing I did. Like, okay, give me a minute. Mom, but I want to show you. Okay, 1 second. And like, it's almost like you feel that like frustration because your soul is being pulled in so many different directions. You're trying to force yourself to do something that doesn't come naturally to yourself. When your motherly instincts are like, I just want to go and see what my kid wants to show me. But I know if I break my workflow, it's going to take me forever to get back into it. Yeah. And so with leaning into this stuff, I truly feel like I'm winning so much at life. And it honestly like makes me a little emotional, where I get to be so much more present when I am home with my kids because I'm not spending so much time in the tedious tasks that are so important and I believe in and have created opportunities for growth inside the salon spaces that I have. But at what cost? Right? Is that time with being with my kids and making those memories. I will say it's so cool with leaning into automations and systems. Like this summer, my husband's business, because he's an entrepreneur too, has been taken off. But it requires and I did not plan well for this summer. The kids are with me all of the time because I didn't plan camps or anything. But I did plan we got memberships at this kids athletic center and going to the swim park and bowling alley and all that stuff. So it's so cool now that with the systems that I have in place, I can come into work and be here the first half of the day. And then they're working on their summer schoolwork. And then the second half of the day, I get to just go be with my kids and just make memories with them, that otherwise I would have missed out on, and I have missed out on because I felt like I had to physically do all of these things all the time. And now I'm so grateful that we have these resources in place where I can just be present with my mom as a mom, and it's not costing in the business. It's not costing my team. We're actually growing so strong and fast with me using less of my mental capacity and being able to be more of a present leader, mom, wife, all of these things I'm so grateful for.
Well, and you know what's funny too is we talk about automations and systematizing for that exact thing to take, we need to take things off our plate so we can do everything because we're one person. And I cannot be an amazing mom if I'm hands in everything on my business. I truly cannot. And even the days yesterday's perfect example, I was so mad at myself last night. You put your kids to bed and then you're like, wow, I could have done better today. You know what I mean? You have that feeling. And it was because I was on my computer all day yesterday. I'm home with the kids. They're just kind of watching TV, just having a lazy day. And I'm on my computer all day trying to redo our website. And I'm so frustrated because I'm oh, it's not going to let me do this. It's going to take longer. And the end of the day, I'm I didn't actually need to do that today. I don't need to make my website look different. It's operating fine. This is a want, not a need, but I'm putting all this pressure. And it's the beautiful side of this is because I can, I didn't have anything to do on my computer yesterday. And I'm so trained as an owner. And this is something it's I love mentoring in from a place of where I'm at, because it's I know that you guys get it. And I might be like, 1 year ahead of maybe other salon owners because I've been doing this for a year, and 1 year they'll have these problems. And now the problem is you're like desperate for something to do because you've automated so much. And I'm like, why am I doing this? I need to just enjoy where I'm at. But I think it's that hustle mindset of the hairstylist that is so embedded in us. Thank God, right? Like, it got us where we are, and we have to have that. But as an owner, like, the hardest part for me is with motherhood is like, I'm allowed to turn that off. My business is doing great. We don't always need to be in a change and a growth and an upgrade. And so once you get to the other side, you're gonna have like new problems. And that's why like entrepreneurship is a beautiful thing for an owner. And I enjoy like my other things I can do, because like my salon is to a point where it's like we've automated, we've systematized, we've empowered other stylists in the space to be able to take on more, which gives them their financial goals, which helps me not have to be there when, if not all the time.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, I'm glad I have other outlets to channel, because the salon is operating great. And I have to like mentally accept that and like be okay just turning my computer off for the day. But it is hard, but it's like, pick your problems, right?
Right. No, and I completely like agree. And I 100% like resonate with that so much, because it's like, it's almost like stepping into a new season of like, you have, almost like downtime. And it's like, oh, I feel like I need to fill it with something, because otherwise it feels like you're dropping the ball, right?
Yeah.
Because
I dare I take a Tuesday off.
right. Well, and it's like, oh my goodness, like I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something right now. I don't know what it is, so I'm going to do something. I'm going to figure out something to do, right? But dang, it's like, what a great place to be in with like leaning into systems that automate, right? And so that's where I feel like I hope our listeners are like hearing like, dang, I resonate with that so much. I don't want to lean in to like systems that automate, because maybe it feels intimidating to you. Maybe you don't know where to start because it's like what analysis paralysis, right? Like, where do you begin? There's too many things. I'll do it another time, right? But it's just like, choose one thing. Like, just choose one thing that you're like, I'm going to create a system around this one thing today. Yeah. And I feel like you have to like do it all.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that would start giving you time back? Right. Yeah. And then building a system around that. And that's what I'm so excited about, like what we are doing inside of Heal the Industry, is helping people overcome things that like hold them back mentally, helping build systems that automate, helping have clear boundaries and scale to success that they didn't think was possible, while just getting to be present. And like I feel like in my salon, I just get to be Ashlee. Like, and Abigail, I could see for you, like you're in full alignment. You just get to be Abigail. Like, it's not a performance measure. It's just you just get to be just that. And then same with like being a mom, like just get to be a mom, like not a mom, like having to be mompreneur all the time and the two having to merge, like just getting to experience like balance with all of that.
Yeah. And my complaint today is my dream 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean? And like, this is how it is. This is that mindset. And that's why I think a lot of stylists who step in ownership have this mindset. It's that like, okay, now what? And that's hard, but again, like 2 years ago, I would have loved to be able to do a podcast in the morning like this. I would have loved to be able to do like coaching and mentorship and have a product line and all these things, but I couldn't, because my salon felt like the fullest time job beyond 40 hours. I mean, at night I'm on my computer. I haven't been on my computer at night. Like truly, it is a no for me. I have not done that at least like a year. Like when my husband gets home from work, at around 5. Like if I'm like, dabbling, I always have it kind of on the counter. I'm like, ooh, checking in on things. He's home, like computer is down. And at night, like I can't, because I know I won't sleep. I know it gets my brain going. Like I need to relax. But that was not an option for a long time, because it would be me at the salon all day, whether I was doing hair or doing something else, and everything else had to be squeezed in at the end of the day. And that, like, I learned very quickly was just not sustainable, and it was making me just not enjoy anything like with salon ownership anymore. I just missed being a stylist sometimes, because at least I only had to worry about me, myself, and I. But I do, like, I love ownership. And now 2 years later, I'm like backing away from behind the chair more and more. As much as I love it, it's like a passion of mine, but I see how much more productive we are as a salon, and how much more I am like involved and helpful when I'm not booking so many appointments. And this summer I'm leaning into it, because like what you're saying, my kids, it's funny, most people, their kids go to school, so they work more, but I'm actually like telling my clients, my daughter's starting kindergarten this year, so I'm not going to be as available. Like, what do you mean? Like, well, I still have a 2-year-old, so he's not in school. So now I got 2 different pickups, but she's going to a private school. There's no school buses. I will pick her up every day at 3 p.m. And like, I don't want my husband, I'm not going to have him leave work early. He's going to take him, but I will be picking up. And to be honest, I want to be pickup mom. Like I want that experience. My parents always picked me up, dropped me off from school. I always loved, like, you see your mom outside, you get excited, you run to the car. Like I want that. I want to hear about her day when she's fresh. And it's just a non-negotiable for me. So I'm already like thinking, okay, what systems do I need to put in now to make sure that I can still do everything I'm doing? And my salon's about 45 minutes away from her school. So I have to leave like at 2:00. Monday through Friday now. So now I'm like, okay, my work day just went whoop, and I am not going to pick her up and then be on my computer at home. Like I'm not going to do it. So again, the problem, you know what I mean? And thinking about it, I'm already thinking, what do I need to do now? And I think a big part of this is you start getting really good at like forecasting, just like we forecast our numbers. You start forecasting like your life and your business in the sense of like systems, future problem. Let's do a system now so we don't have to run into it at all. And once you start, like the KPI thing was just one of many examples, but once you start like thinking this way as an owner, you'd be amazed at how much easier everything feels. Like even the hard conversations, the hard decisions, like everything is easier, because at the end of the day, I think what most owners and leaders, I mean, stylists just in general, truly everybody in the industry, like we need permission to step into that next role.
Right.
Whether you're an owner, I think we need permission. If you went from stylist to owner, it's a very hard shift, because you're used to working in a salon collaboratively with other stylists. And you get to be their friend. You get to just be like, and then when you step into owner, you need someone to give you permission to be like the boss now. And when we hear boss, I hated that term for like the first year of salon ownership. I hated it. I didn't like people calling me boss. I'm like, no, don't call me that. Like anything, because I had renters, I felt like a landlord. I'm like, they call me, I'm Richard Buzz. Because to me, boss felt like bossy. And that was like, I don't want to be bossy. I don't want to be like hard to work for. And then you realize that it's not being bossy. Okay, let's take that word out of it. But like having systems as a leader and having structure and boundaries that you hold, you are actually more respected, and it makes you embrace that role that much more. And you'd be amazed how many stylists just start asking them questions. What made you look for a new salon? When you found us, what was it? And most of the time, if you already are embracing this, they're looking for more structure. They want a salon with structure, because for whatever reason, that is very hard to come by. It's just structure. And I think it's just because a lot of owners don't feel like they have permission to do that. Like in our industry, they don't feel like they're allowed to treat it like any other industry, as serious and as, and that's what I'm so passionate about here, the industry and our calls and everything we do, is because like we're at the end of the day, it's like mindset is so huge. And I love that everybody wants to constantly improve their mindset, because it's a never ending journey.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even like being in it as like a mindset mentor, I'm still like discovering things. Like we have the free community book club, and we read the book this last month, Winning the War in Your Mind. And that book, I was like, oh my goodness, this is fire. I'm learning so many good things. And like, I just can't even wait to like go back through it and read it again. Cause I know every time like you reread something, you catch something that you missed prior, right?
Totally.
And going off of like what you said too about like stylists like wanting places that are like more structured, that's such a thing. Like I've recently onboarded 2 stylists at both of my different locations, and when we showed them all of the systems, and this is where you go to for this, and this is our process for this, and this is where you go if you need the answer for this, they're like, oh my goodness, it's so organized. I just love it. Like they get excited because they do want that. So, for salon owners who are looking to build their salon spaces into something that will sustain, you have to see yourself as like, you have to give yourself permission, to like own that these stylists are choosing you to mentor and to lead them. And you have to see the value in stepping back from behind the chair, because when you sign that lease, you signed a whole other level of responsibility that you were agreeing to. And recognizing, I always say it's like the circle of life in the salon. Salon owner, your job is to lead, mentor, and serve your stylists inside of your space to have success alongside you and give them all the tools. Like you were a successful stylist, that's how you became a successful owner. Show them the way, right? Mm-hmm. And then how they serve their guests is what is important to sustain the salon, to keep the guests coming back and wanting more, right? So you have to pour into you have to see value in letting go of that client relationship so much and see the value of impacts that you're going to have by mentoring and leading your stylists to be able to serve their guests. Like it's going to have a wider span of impact than there's only so much hair you can do behind the chair. But if you can see value in teaching your 10 stylists in the salon and then them being able to serve all their guests, like that's so much bigger of an impact that you have, and seeing the value in that is what you need to do. Like your first step, draw back, like cut a day and that day to building systems. And then once you start seeing success from that, you get to draw back even more and even more,
So actually, you need to make a Heal the Industry organizational chart, like a motivational poster that everybody can put in their office. And it's going to have, or here's an Instagram swipe. And it's going to be slide 1 is what the salon owner thinks she's responsible for. And it's a little stick figure. And then it branches off into 2, and it's stylists. And then it's all their clients, the owner's clients. And then the stylists branch off to all of their clients, and then their owners at the top. And then it needs to be swipe, or on the bottom, the reality. And it's the owner, the stylist, then the customers.
Yes.
And I feel like if I could look at that every day, like I'm so serious, if I could look at that chart every day and remind myself, my job is to take care of my stylists, and their job, and let them see, is to take care of our customers. Yeah. Like, wouldn't that alleviate so much love, that when your mind starts to wander and you feel like I need to do everything? Like, no. Look at the chart.
Right here. Stay focused.
Yes. We need to make the chart.
Okay, wait. I'm going to do that before this podcast airs.
Yeah, you should.
So I think that would if you haven't gone to the Heal the Industry Instagram account, go to it, because I'm literally drawing this out right now.
I love it.
I am going to make this. Thank you, Abigail. That's
awesome. Like expectation versus reality.
Yes, exactly.
It should be.
Yes, I'm literally going to do that. I'm so excited.
I love it.
Lovely.
I love it. That's gold.
I love it so much. I love getting to do these podcast episodes with you. They're literally my favorite. And it just makes me so excited about like what it is that we're doing inside the healing industry. So if you guys want to learn more about the things that we're teaching and we're mentoring inside of the community, just go to Instagram, heal.the.industry, and there's a link. You can find out more information inside of there. I'm on Instagram at Ashlee, ASHLEE N as in, I'm not telling you my middle name, but just N as in napkin.
Ashlee Napkin.
Ashlee Napkin, Ashlee period N period Vance. And then Abigail, where can our listeners find you?
Instagram, I'm Abigail .L Society. That's my salon. And then, of course, you can find me inside of Heal the Industry. I do calls both in the leadership group and the stylist facing group. I kind of do a little bit more in the leadership group, just because we just launched it, recently, and I'm just so passionate about these topics and helping other salon owners. So that's just where like I'm drawn to right now. But yeah, we're all up in there. We love it.
Yes, totally. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Abigail, for being on today. I can't wait for our next one because I know it's going to be fire every single time. All right, everybody, have the most amazing day, and we will talk to y'all soon.
Love.
Oh, dang it. I accidentally hit hang up.
No, you're fine. I knew. So fun. I love it.
Oh, I know. I love it so much. It's always so much fun getting to do these.